I'm going to have to like skim through this because I want to avoid repeating what people have already said. I do want to make clear the NDAA is not new. It's passed every year. It's been passed every year for as long as, I don't know, It is the way our government funds our military adventures. So it authorizes the funds to be spent to go abroad and kill people. In 2011, this language was added. There were amendments that were offered by Senator Feinstein and another man here, Udell, I think his name was. They were shot down, and it was written into law. Now, we've heard the word covered persons. The language says, a covered person under this section is any person as follows. And then it says, it talks about those that actually aided the September 11 attacks. And then number 2, a person who is part of or substantially supported Al-Qaeda, the Taliban, or associated forces that are engaged in hostilities against the United States or its coalition partners, including any person who has committed a belligerent act, which is undefined. Who are our coalition partners first? I am not aware that it's clear, even who is on our side, who we fund. We find out after the fact we're actually Al-Qaeda. I don't think we know who our coalition partners are, even at the highest levels of our own government. I certainly don't.
Excuse me, the way reading this in the coalition, aren't they referring to associations with Al-Qaeda?
Or, no, it says engaged in hostilities against the United States or its coalition partners. So I could be accused of doing a belligerent act, which is not defined, by substantially aiding somebody that was doing something naughty against somebody that's supposedly in coalition with my government. And I have no way to know who any of these people are. All right? Let me go on here. Belligerent act is not defined. Associated forces are not defined. They say here that you can be held detention under the law of war without trial until the end of hostilities, authorized by the authorization of use of military force. When are these hostilities supposed to end? We have no defined enemy. We have nothing to know that this will ever end. Frankly, at this point, we make new enemies every day. So it will go on forever. So this says that they can hold me without trial forever. Now, President Obama, when he signed this, he signed a signing statement. And in it, some people now say, oh, see, Obama said that it was not going to apply to us. That's not what the signing statement said. The signing statement said, this isn't even necessary. I already have this power. And for you to write it again just confuses the facts. All right? He said in that signing statement, the main purpose of the statement relating to detainee provision states that the language is not necessary as it codifies rights that the president already possesses. The signing statement did not say anything about the fact that it redefined the battlefield as on our soil. So yes, it did change things. It did change things. And you know why we know it changed things? Because when that lawsuit was filed by journalists who are afraid, as if our media wasn't remiss enough already, wasn't already really responsible, at least partly, for where we are today. Now we have journalists that are afraid for their very lives and have gone to the court. And you heard that the judge ruled in their favor and said that there would be an injunction in place. Now, if President Obama is true to his word that this is not going to affect anybody here, why did he appeal it? Immediately, that day, the appeal was filed. That injunction has been lifted. And when they went in for the second hearing, his lawyers wouldn't even say if they had detained anybody outside of her order, in violation of her order. The President of the United States' lawyer would not answer if they had defied her order. This is what are afraid. History is replete with representative governments becoming tyrannical. It has happened many, many times. And we don't have to go back very far in our history to find examples of it. Let me see here. Let me see what she says about her lawsuit. Oh, you want new information? Nobody has discussed the white paper that came out. There was a white paper that was leaked by NBC News on March 4th, 2013. NBC News published a leaked white paper. Department of Justice lawyers write down a memo about who you can assassinate when you're the president. I guess we'll be lucky if they don't just take us away in the night. Because now they claim they have the power to just take you out. Don't bother detaining anyone. Just take them out with a drone, okay? This leaked paper says who they can do it to. And listen to what it says. It's 16 pages long, and I have it here for you. I have links to the paper. You can read it for yourself. The 16-page memo, written by Obama's lawyers, introduces a more expansive definition of imminent than described by General Holder in the public speech. It refers, for example, to what it calls, listen to this, quote, a broader concept of imminence than actual intelligence about any ongoing plot against the United States homeland. Instead, it says, an informed, high-level official of the United States government may determine that the targeted American has been recently involved in activities posing a threat of violent attack, and there is no evidence suggesting that he has renounced or abandoned such activities. How, pray tell, can a citizen, what am I supposed to do? Run out into the street every day just for an FY, cover my butt type of thing? I'm not involved in anything. This literally says they do not have to have any intelligence, and somebody spoke of the weapons of mass destruction. Okay, all the way at the top of our government, they claim they knew without doubt that there were these massive stockpiles of weapons which have never been found. Here we are 12 years later, mired in war, our rights stripped away every single day since then. They don't have to go to that level. They don't have to have committee meetings. Whoever these unnamed, high-level people that supposedly are in the know can just make can just make the claim that you have done something recently, which is not defined. Recently is not defined. And you've been involved in an activity which is not defined. I'm involved in activities every day that the government could point to say, she's a problem. Every day.
Just by Facebook alone.
Just by Facebook alone. They picked me this afternoon. All right? Now, we know that boy that they assassinated, a 16-year-old boy, 2 weeks after his father was killed. This is not by accident. They didn't kill him by accident because he was with his father. And let me read to you what Gibbs said about he was asked about this, okay? Robert Gates, former press secretary, he was questioned about that assassination. And he was asked, well, how can you kill, the question was an American citizen being targeted without due process, without trial. He's underage, he's a minor, they say to him. And what his answer was, you're not going to believe this, so I've provided the link. I would suggest that you should have a far more responsible father if you are truly concerned about the well-being of your children. I don't think becoming an Al-Qaeda jihadist terrorist is the best way to go about doing your business. This was the press secretary of the United States of America, asked how they came about the decision to kill a 16-year-old boy born in Denver, Colorado, with no trial. And he said, I guess he should have had a better father. That is the level of disdain that they have now fallen to. They don't even think it's important enough to answer a serious question anymore. Not that any of them are ever posed. They're not even asked. So on just wrap up with this. February 11, 2013, Glenn Greenwald, who has fled America and now writes out of Britain, wrote, quote, "To many conservatives, Bush could and should be trusted to exercise extreme powers in the dark because he was a good evangelical Christian family man with heartland cowboy values. To many progressives, Obama can and should be trusted because he's a good, sophisticated, East Coast progressive family man with urbane constitutional scholar values. It's lowly reality TV and rank cultural tribalism masquerading as political ideology. I am tired of being stuck between two parties that allow these type of things to go on because their guy is in charge at the time. It doesn't matter if the president is a Republican or a Democrat. It really is worse than reality TV. So your purpose for being here, and I appreciate all you do. I know how much time it takes. I know you're only given $100 and they don't even want you to go skiing. I understand. I appreciate it. And please, Representative Baldessaro, do not take umbrage to this. Article 31 of our Constitution says why you're here. It literally says meetings of the legislature for what purpose? What purpose do we even assemble here? Why do we have this body? It says the legislature shall assemble for the redress of public grievances and for making such laws as the public good may require. I have a grievance. We all do. The public good requires this. It is your only reason for being here, as written directly into the Constitution. Thank you for your time. I will... I know, but you know, we got some people here because of Facebook is a good way to help organize people. And why should we be afraid to post things on Facebook? I mean, how has this happened that journalists are going to the court and saying, I'm scared to interview people? How are we ever going to come to an end to these conflicts if we can't even have any information from the people over there? If all we get is propaganda from this side, and we can never even interview anybody, this will never end.
All right, any questions? I mean, make it quick, because, I mean, we
Yep.
have 7 minutes left, and I was going to lunch, no matter what, okay? Yes.
But do you think I should be scared if something like this shows up on my wall? Tyranny. When someone in the executive branch of government says he has the right to kill you without due process.
Yeah, I think you have a good reason to be scared. And you know, there's a new committee that's just been created in the last week or so that's supposed to go specifically online to look for people that are giving trouble. Man, it is accelerating. We are circling the drain. Ma'am,
Can we speak via telephone?
I spoke to someone on this committee.
I think it was me. I recognize the passion.
I'll be one of the first to disappear out of New Hampshire. I did not commit suicide. I will never commit suicide. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, Representative Carey, for picking up the phone. I mean, I do.
He didn't have to
People don't do that.